Husband, 29M, won't let me, 26F, use baby name because of X. So my husband, 29M, and I, 26F, have been together 3 years and are trying to name our baby. It's going awful because he won't actively participate. I've asked and asked for him to make a list and he just won't. He has ridiculous standards like I can't use L or N names, or I couldn't use a name because it was the name of someone's grandma. He keeps vetoing them but won't give any suggestions at all. Yesterday we agreed on a name we both liked. I was thrilled and even told my mom about it. Then at night he said he remembered we can't use the name. I asked why and he said his ex-girlfriend wanted to name her firstborn that one day and so it's off the table. Should I respect his wishes and discard the name? I don't know if it's my hormones, but I'm almost jealous. Like, what does that have to do with me or my marriage? I feel he's being unreasonable. TLDR, husband won't let me use a baby name for our baby because his ex liked the name. My wife and I used a baby name app where you swipe left or right on names and it compiles a list of all the names you both approve. You might try something like that. It will come. Don't stress it too much. Just for fun, tell him you decided to let Reddit decide it and make a naming thread. In the end, don't stress it and be patient. It will come. Your agreement. My husband and I made a deal with the baby names. I got one of my top choices for our daughter. But that means he got to pick her middle name from his short. Approved by both of us. List we alternated for our following children. I didn't get my favorite name for our son, but it was one of 5 we'd agreed on and it was my husband's favorite. I then got to pick the middle name. It worked out feeling pretty fair to us, but yeah, picking baby names is tough because you don't want to have a bad memory of someone else every time you read or say your child's name. If it was just vetoing that name, both parents should get veto rights. But endless vetoes and no contributions is really obnoxious behavior. Have you asked him what's going on? Naming the child makes this real. That can be a scary thing, and not participating, vetoing all names is something I've seen friends' partners do out of fear. Tell him if you guys don't come up with a name, you're putting together a list of names you're partial to in a hat and you're picking one out. Tell him he has to write down names he's okay with. And if he doesn't, then you get to write them all. Then pick one, stick it in an envelope and say it's going to X, who will reveal the name after the baby is born. See if he actually adds any names to the list or just wants to stress you out further. Didn't name either of our kids until they were over a month old. There is no rush. Also, because names come with associations, baggage for everyone, it only makes sense that both partners have no questions asked veto for any name. At least, that's how we viewed it. He doesn't want the name because an ex liked the name? Did they have a terrible breakup? It doesn't sound like it because it took a while for him to realize it. It should be you that has a problem with that situation, and if you're fine with it, he needs to figure out his mental block. Tell him that he gets no more vetoes until he contributes a list, not 2 or 3. A list minimum of 15 names. Tell him this is it, or he gets to find out the name when you sign the birth certificate. He can't just say no endlessly. Does he want the baby? Why do I feel like this is a manipulation tactic to get you to agree to a name he thinks you won't want for some reason? Are you sure he's not the baby, lol? YTF is he being so difficult? I understand if a name is tied to a serious past trauma, but he's being wild about this. Like, there are only so many names to pick, dude. Chill out and take whatever your wife wants if you have no ideas yourself. For the love of all that's holy, There isn't a name out there that someone else hasn't already used. Who cares if some ex-girlfriend maybe someday might use that name? He needs to start offering up some suggestions other than just vetoes. Both parties need to agree to a name. The fact he won't offer suggestions or participate should be your real focus. Is he participating in other ways to prepare for the baby? I have 3 kids and each baby we couldn't have disagreed more on names. I went through name sites and everything sounded the same after a while, and it got to the point where I just didn't have any more suggestions. And then, after 5,000 suggestions by her, the perfect name we both love, it'll come. There was even the same situation of a name my wife liked that an ex also liked. That ex would never shut up about it and mentioned it any time we were around a baby. So that name forever resonates with someone I definitely don't want to be reminded of ever, let alone daily. I think you give him a pass on that. The name means nothing to you, but to him it's a memory he may not want. I unfortunately couldn't escape it because my mill named her new dog that name. Let him know he needs to give you a list, or you will let the internet do it. I for one will be excited to meet your new child person McPerson face. Names are so tricky. My husband and I both agreed at beginning if one person said no, no matter how much the other loved it, it was a no. We finally agreed on a name we both were just okay with. But it works. Even if you think your husband's reasons are crazy, I'd stick with a no from one as a no. Keep moving through names until you both can agree. Seems like there's more going on here. Ask him directly why he won't participate. Is he overwhelmed at the idea of baby generally? There's something else happening. Get curious about what's underneath. Remind him it's not you two versus each other. It needs to be you and him versus the problem. Why is he not on the team for this? What's getting in his way? I think it should be easy enough to respect the boundary here. The last thing I'd want for my partner is for them to be eternally haunted by their ex through their child.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.